Hema Kashyap's pink scarf, captured in that fateful photograph, has become a symbol of a much larger struggle. Hema, like millions of Indian students, had her eyes set on NEET, the gateway to medical education in the country. As a student from a reserved category, she needed a caste certificate to avail of benefits like fee concessions and reserved seats, a document that proves her eligibility under India's affirmative action policies. But when she submitted her application, the authorities rejected it.
कहाँ की रहने वाली है?
सर मेरा नाम हेमा कश्यप है और मैं अलीगढ़ से हूँ, भगवानगढ़ी से।
क्या हुआ था?
सर मैंने जो है जाति प्रमाण पत्र के लिए 3 बार अप्लाई किया, तीनों बार मेरा रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया। पहली बार मैंने ऑनलाइन किया, वो रिजेक्ट हो गया। सेकंड टाइम मैंने जो अप्लाई किया था उसमें मेरा फोटो था जिसमें मेरा सर पे दुपट्टा था, तो इस बेस पर उन्होंने रिजेक्ट कर दिया। बट फिर भी मैंने मतलब थर्ड टाइम मैंने वो किया था अप्लाई, तो थर्ड टाइम में उन्होंने क्या करा, मैंने फोटो जो था उसमें मेरा सर पे दुपट्टा नहीं था, फिर भी उन्होंने मेरा रिजेक्ट कर दिया। सर ये तो कोई रीजन नहीं है रिजेक्ट करने का, ये भारत संस्कृति है सर पे दुपट्टा रखना, और सब रिलीजन में ये बताया जाता है कि सर पे दुपट्टा रखना जरूरी है और हमारी संस्कृति है, बट इस बेस पे मेरा रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया। सर मैं बहुत प्रॉब्लम सफर कर रही हूँ। मैंने नीट के लिए अप्लाई किया था, वो मैं नहीं दे पाई, फॉर्म फिल नहीं कर पाई मैं फॉर्म। सिर्फ ओबीसी सर्टिफिकेट मुझे बनवाना था, वो नेपाल ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया 3 बार और मेरा ये फॉर्म रह गया है।
वजह क्या बताई?
सर उन्होंने यही वजह बताई कि फोटो में सर पे दुपट्टा है, इसको हटाकर तुम्हें फोटो लगाना चाहिए था। इस बेस पे उन्होंने रिजेक्ट किया है कि तुम्हें ऐसा फोटो देना चाहिए था जिसपे सर पे दुपट्टा ना हो।
चेहरा नहीं दिख रहा था जो
चेहरा
आपने?
बिल्कुल साफ था, उसमें बस स्कार्फ बंधा हुआ था। नॉर्मली सब धूप से बचने के लिए या सर पे रखते हैं, तो इस वजह से मैंने भी रख लिया। तो ये
हिंदू संस्कृति,
हाँ हिंदी संस्कृति की वजह से मैंने वो रख लिया और इस बेस पे मेरा उन्होंने रिजेक्ट कर दिया।
अब क्या चाहती हैं आप?
मैं चाहती हूँ इसके खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई करी जाए और मुझे इंसाफ मिले, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम फेस करी है। 1 साल मैंने जो प्रिपरेशन करी, मैं नीट नहीं दे पाई हूँ, नीट की परीक्षा नहीं दे पाई हूँ। इस बेस पे मुझे, और बाकी जो लड़कियां हैं वो नहीं दे पाएंगी।
योगी जी से क्या करें?
योगी जी से मुझे यही वो है निवेदन की उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करी जाए सर, मुझे इंसाफ चाहिए।
अब कहाँ शिकायत लेकर आई हैं आप?
मैं
डीएम साहब
के यहाँ मैं शिकायत लेके आई हूँ उनके खिलाफ।
तहसील भी गई थी शिकायत लेके?
तहसील भी गई थी मैं, तहसीलदार के ऑफिस, उनसे मेरी बात हुई थी। उन्होंने नेपाल से बात करा कि इनकी वजह क्या है रिजेक्ट करने का। उन्होंने ये बताया कि इनके सर पे दुपट्टा रखा हुआ, ये हिंदू रिलीजन से है। तो ऐसा कहाँ मानना है कि हिंदू रिलीजन से और सर पे दुपट्टा नहीं रख सकते, या कोई भी फॉर्म ऐसे अप्लाई करेंगे तो वो बंद हो जाएगा या फिर वो फिल नहीं हो पाएगा।
The reason? Her photograph showed her with a dupatta, a traditional Indian scarf, covering her head, which they deemed non-compliant with the strict guidelines for official documents. According to a News18 Hindi report, her application was rejected not once, but 3 times, leaving her with no time to rectify the issue before the NEET deadline. Her dream of donning a white coat was put on hold, all because of a piece of cloth. India's bureaucratic system is notorious for its rigidity, and the guidelines for photographs on official documents are no exception. For caste certificates, the rules are clear. The face must be fully visible, with no obstructions, and head coverings are generally discouraged unless worn for religious reasons, and even then, the face must remain unobstructed. Hema's dupatta, a common accessory for women across India, was seen as a violation of these rules. But was it really? The dupatta is a cultural staple, often worn by Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh women alike as a sign of modesty or tradition. In Hema's case, the authorities may have mistaken it for a hijab, a religious head covering associated with Muslim women, as suggested by a user on ex-Muslim Spaces. This misinterpretation hints at a deeper issue, a lack of cultural sensitivity in the application of rules. The consequences for Hema were devastating. Missing NEET means waiting another year to reapply, a significant setback for a student who has likely spent years preparing for this moment. For students from marginalized communities, such delays can be catastrophic, often forcing them to abandon their dreams altogether due to financial or familial pressures. Hema's story isn't an isolated incident, it's part of a larger pattern of tension between personal expression and institutional rules in India. In 2022, the Karnataka hijab law made headlines when Muslim students were barred from wearing hijabs in classrooms, citing uniform dress codes. The Karnataka High Court upheld the ban, but the state government later rescinded it in 2023 after a change in leadership. The incident sparked nationwide protests and drew international criticism, with figures like Malala Yousafzai condemning the restriction as a violation of the right to education. Hema's case, while different in context, mirrors this struggle. Her dupatta, a cultural rather than religious symbol, was caught in the same web of scrutiny that often targets religious head coverings like the hijab or turban. Other incidents paint a similar picture. In 2019, a Sikh student in Tamil Nadu was asked to remove her turban for a NEET exam, leading to revised guidelines allowing religious headgear with prior approval. In 2023, a Muslim woman in UP was denied entry to a government office for wearing a burqa. These cases highlight a recurring theme. India's bureaucratic and educational systems often struggle to accommodate cultural and religious diversity, particularly when it comes to women's attire. Hema's story is more than a bureaucratic mishap. It's a window into the systemic barriers that young women, especially from marginalized communities, face in India. Access to education for women has been improving. Data from the Karnataka Hijab Row shows that Muslim women's enrollment in higher education rose from 1% in 2007-08 to 16% in 2017-18. But incidents like Hema's threaten to reverse these gains, discouraging female participation by adding unnecessary hurdles. The incident also reflects India's ongoing struggle with secularism and communal tensions. The assumption by some ex-users that Hema's headscarf was a hijab, and thus a Muslim symbol, reveals how communal biases can influence administrative decisions. In a country where the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, known for its Hindu-first ideology, governs many states, such biases can exacerbate feelings of exclusion among minority communities. Even for Hindu women like Hema, cultural practices like wearing a dupatta can be misconstrued, caught in the crossfire of a broader debate over religious symbols in public spaces. Hema Kashyap's pink scarf, captured in that fateful photograph, has become a symbol of a much larger struggle. It speaks to the clash between tradition and modernity, between individual expression and institutional rules, and between the promise of education and the reality of exclusion. As India strives to become a global leader, it must ensure that its systems empower, rather than hinder, its youth, especially young women like Hema, whose dreams deserve a chance to soar. Until then, her story will remain a poignant reminder of the battles fought over something as simple, yet profound, as a piece of cloth.